thing I actually saw was my Mimi, who had died a couple years back, and that's how I knew I was in heaven. It was really, really bright, and I sat on Jesus' lap, and it was kind of like being suspended above the universe. I asked him if I could stay, and he said, "No, Annabelle, I have plans for you on earth that you could not fulfill in heaven." It was lighter than it was before, and so but it was at night, so that didn't make sense, and that's whenever I realized the guardian angel was with me, and he told me, "I'm going to send a guardian angel with you to light the tree." The angel was mostly like a little fairy and then just light all around. I was inside the tree, it was muddy, and I was like trying to crawl my way out. I'd always been faithful to him, and I had always hoped he would heal me. My life has changed so much because now I can run and play and kind of make up for what I missed before. I hope people learn that he is always faithful to you, and no matter how bad things get. Yes, and see, it's not like, oh, I just want to give up. I had actually put a lot of thought into this because my mom said after I said that, she said, "Oh, but Annabelle, whenever you'd be gone, we'd miss you so much." And I remember bits and pieces, because there were pretty much what would happen is I'd wake up and I would wake up from being unconscious, and then I would go to sleep, and then I would become unconscious again, and then I would wake up back up, and that's pretty much how it was.
Was it because you hit your head or something on the way down? I
think it was because in my attempt to get out, it had just rained, and so it was really muddy, and I think I was clawing to get out of the tree, but every single time I did, I slipped, and I think when I slipped, I hit something and became unconscious again. And then I woke back up, and I would hear something, and then I would try again and become unconscious again. And maybe that played a factor in it, but I remember one of the first things I remember being in the tree was whenever Abby, I just literally woken up, and I had been in the tree, I guess 5 minutes, because I think it was before you had even come out, because Abby said, "Annabelle, how are you?" And I didn't respond for a few minutes because I was like, "Where am I?"
Yeah, sure.
And then I said, "It's really hard to breathe." And so Abby said, "Adeline's got a pipe and she's gonna dig you out." And then I didn't remember anything else until whenever Abby was going like this on the tree, and she was like, "Annabelle, we're calling 911, we're gonna get you out." And it just came in bits and pieces like that.
Why was it hard to breathe? Were you having a hard time breathing, or was the air just
because
damp?
it was muddy. It was just pure mud on the inside of the tree. Yeah. And there were spaces that there weren't, but on the outside and on the floor and everywhere, there was just mud. And so it was the air was really muggy and hard to breathe.
You were 30 feet from the only air hole.
Yeah, and I remember anytime that I was awake, there was this little crack, and when it was right by a little stump that stuck out of the tree, and I would try and crawl up there, and I would put my lips against it and try and take in some good breaths before I fell from the fall. And then I asked God, because for that little thing, I was like, wow, there's no pain here, because while the branch was breaking, I didn't want to make things worse, but Abby was like, "Annabelle, you need to get in the hole." And I was like, "Abby, my stomach's starting to hurt again." And so then whenever I was there, I was like, "Jesus, can I stay here with you where there is no more pain?" He said, "No, Annabelle, I have plans for you on earth that you cannot fulfill in heaven." And so what was kind of going through my mind is I was like, why would you do this to me? Why would you give me this teaser of a fantastic rest of my life and then send me back down to all the pain and misery? Because it didn't really click. He's gonna heal me. I was like, that's so mean. You're gonna
send me back to the pain.
Yeah, give me a teaser of this perfect life in heaven for about 5 or 10 minutes and then send me back to this horrible, awful pain.
There are moments in life that defy logic, moments so profound they leave doctors, scientists, and even skeptics speechless. Today, we're going to talk about one of those moments. It's a story that starts with tragedy but ends in triumph. A little girl fell 30 feet head first into a hollow tree, and when she came out, not only was she alive, but something even more astonishing had happened. She was healed from a disease no one thought she'd ever escape. This incredible true story became the basis for the Hollywood film Miracles from Heaven, starring Jennifer Garner as the mother who refused to give up on her daughter. But what really happened goes far beyond what any movie could fully capture. It's a journey of pain, faith, and the kind of healing that doctors still cannot explain. Before we dive deeper into this life-changing event, I invite you to take a moment and subscribe to my channel. If you love hearing real stories of hope, faith, and the unexplainable, make sure to hit the like button and join our community so you never miss an inspiring video. Now, let's begin this remarkable story. Annabelle Beam was just 6 years old when her life took a heartbreaking turn. Most children that age are focused on playing outside, learning to ride bikes, or chasing after friends. But for Annabelle, childhood was different. Her days were filled with doctor appointments, medications, and constant pain. Her small body was fighting a rare and incurable digestive disorder called pseudo-obstruction motility disorder. Simply put, her body couldn't properly move food through her intestines. Her belly was often bloated and swollen. She couldn't eat like other children. Sometimes, just taking a bite of food led to agony. Her life became a cycle of hospital visits and treatments, but no cure existed. Doctors told her family that this was something Annabelle would have to live with for the rest of her life. There was no solution, no way out. Her mother, Christy Beam, watched helplessly as her daughter battled every single day. No parent ever wants to see their child suffer, and Christy was no exception. But despite the doctor's words, she refused to let go of hope. She prayed endlessly, asking for healing, even though she knew the odds were stacked against them. On a clear day in December of 2011, Annabelle and her older sister Abigail were playing together outside. Like most kids, they loved to climb trees, and that day, they decided to challenge themselves by climbing a massive old cottonwood tree near their Texas home. What happened next would change their lives forever. As Annabelle carefully made her way up the tree, a branch suddenly gave way beneath her feet. In a split second, she lost her grip. She fell headfirst into the hollow core of the giant tree, plunging a terrifying 30 feet down into darkness. Inside the tree, Annabelle lay motionless. Her family had no idea where she had gone. For hours they searched, calling her name, terrified that they would find her too late. Emergency services were called, and when rescuers finally located her deep inside the tree's trunk, they were stunned she was even alive. Annabelle had been trapped for over 5 hours, but this is where the story takes an extraordinary turn. Later, Annabelle told her parents something that left them in awe. She said that while she was inside the tree, something unexplainable happened. Annabelle described leaving her physical body and going to a place filled with beauty and peace beyond anything she had ever known. She said she saw heaven. According to Annabelle, she met Jesus while she was there. She told her family that she sat on his lap and that he spoke to her gently and lovingly. Jesus told her something remarkable, that when the firefighters finally got her out of the tree, she would be fine. He said that she would be healed. Imagine hearing that from your child. How do you process something like that? Was it just a dream brought on by trauma, or was it something more, a glimpse into the divine? When Annabelle was finally rescued, her family expected to find her broken and seriously injured. After all, she had fallen nearly 3 stories, landing headfirst into the trunk of a tree. It's the kind of fall that usually results in tragedy. But Annabelle walked away with just a few scratches and bruises. No broken bones, no internal injuries. The doctors were amazed by her survival. But what came next was even more shocking. In the days following the fall, Annabelle's mother noticed something strange. Her daughter, who used to cry out in pain after meals, wasn't complaining anymore. She wasn't asking for her usual pain medications. Her stomach wasn't distended. Her symptoms seemed to vanish. Could it be true? Her parents took her back to the specialist who had been treating her for years. After a thorough checkup, the doctor gave them news they never thought they would hear. He said that Annabelle no longer needed treatment. In fact, she was released from his care completely. The disease that had ruled her life was gone. It was as if her body had been completely reset. Today, Annabelle lives like any other young girl. She eats whatever she wants without fear of pain. She no longer has to carry the burden of a chronic illness. In fact, one of her favorite things now is digging into chocolate desserts, something she could never have done before the accident. Her family describes the experience as nothing short of a miracle. They believe that God intervened in a way that defies medical explanation. It wasn't just about surviving the fall, it was about coming back healed in a way no human could have orchestrated. The Beam family's story caught the attention of the media, and soon after, Hollywood came calling. Their journey was transformed into a major motion picture titled Miracles from Heaven, starring Jennifer Garner as Christy Beam, the mother who never gave up on her child. The film captures the emotional roller coaster the family went through, from despair to hope, from illness to healing. But even the movie, as powerful as it is, can't fully capture the real-life wonder of what happened that day. For the Beams, this wasn't just about one miracle, it was about faith, endurance, and the power of believing even when the odds seem impossible. Stories like Annabelle's challenge the way we see the world. They force us to ask questions about life, death, and what happens beyond this world. For some, her healing is proof of God's mercy and the reality of heaven. For others, it's a medical mystery that defies logic. But for the Beam family, the answer is clear. They believe God gave them a miracle, not just for Annabelle, but for everyone who hears her story. Whether you're a person of faith or someone who struggles to believe in the unseen, there's no denying that what happened to Annabelle Beam is one of the most extraordinary stories of healing ever told. Her life reminds us that sometimes, in the darkest and most frightening moments, something beautiful and unexplainable can happen, something that changes everything.